Hiya.
Hello.
Welcome to the Geeky Girls Knit podcast. Gosh, that sounded bad. How come I can never say geeky? Geeky Girls podcast. I guess because I'm trying to say it so fast, it just like goes blah, blah, blah. Welcome. Now I don't know how to start. Welcome to Geeky Girls podcast. I'm Cece, also known as Java Pearl.
I'm Dammy, also known as Dammy Soodles.
And we're glad to have you today, even if I'm already off to a bad start. Today is Wednesday, the 30th of November, 2016, and this is episode 219. Yes, the last episode of November, and by the time y'all watch this, it'll already be December. Yay. We'd like to say a big welcome back. We love you guys. To all our returning viewers, and a big hiya to any new viewers. Thanks for giving us a shot. Hope you enjoy the show. Dammy, we have some people who introduced themselves in the Ravelry group this week. Why don't you give them a shout out?
Okay. Laura, who is V. Lau from Canada. Denise, who is Denise PGH from Pennsylvania. And Lori, who is Lecour from Oregon.
Welcome. We're so glad to have you. Thanks for introducing yourselves. So if somebody is not a member of our Ravelry group, what should they do and why?
You should join and introduce yourself in our introduction thread because you'll get a shout out on our next episode and you will be able to participate in all our cows and giveaways.
That's right. So we need to purloining from the Gilmore Girls so that we can purloin 1 minute health update. Thank you to everyone for your thoughts and prayers for my mama. If you were watching last week, you know that during the recording we found out my mama was going in for surgery on her knee. She came out of surgery okay, and was able to get released from the hospital and still have a nice Thanksgiving. She's in a lot of pain though, and she is in a thing right now where she cannot bend her knee at all, and then she sees the surgeon after 2 weeks to be put into a brace with a hinge on it, and it is about a 6-month recovery. I think it was so bad for her because she already has osteoporosis, and so you know that makes bones brittle. So, but thank you to everyone who said prayers, sent out good thoughts, whether you contacted us or not. Just knowing y'all were out there doing that helped a lot. So thank you. All right, well, we have a lot to talk about today because we have 2 new cows starting. And Gilmore Girls. Don't worry, we'll give you a spoiler warning if you do not want to know about it if you have not watched yet. So stay tuned for that. All right, we should get started. Here we go.
And now we're going to talk about what's on our needles.
So what's on your needles, Dammy?
I am still working on the baby chino socks for our new book, Coffee with Cece and Dammy 2.
Yep.
They're on US 3, 3.25 millimeters, and the yarn is very colorful yarnings in a DK. And I can't show them to you.
Because they're a secret.
Yeah. I thought I would have them all finished by now, but things got messed up, and so...
When knitting attacks.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can tell them that this is baby, toddler, and child socks.
Yes.
That we can tell you. Okay, is there anything else that we can tell them about that?
No.
Okay, anything else on your needles?
No.
Okay.
What's on your needles?
Well, first up, I still have my my zigzag blanket. This is a free pattern by Frankie Brown on Ravelry. It's called 10 Stitch Zigzag. I'm on US 4's 3.5 mil needles, and the current yarn I'm using is Gnome Acres House Gnome? House Gnome in the Stars Hollow colorway, so it's a Gilmore Girls inspired colorway. So while we were gone out of town, I obviously didn't work on it, so I only got in, I think, maybe a couple of zigzags this week, but hopefully now that I have finished something, which I will talk about in the next segment, I can get back on track to doing one a day on that. And then next up, I am knitting a pair of socks for the hubs for Christmas. Shh, don't tell him, okay? He's not home right now. That's why I can talk loud about it and not be like, shh, don't tell him because he's in the other room. So this is from my French Vanilla Cappuccino sock pattern, which you can get on Ravelry. I'm on US 1.5 2.5 mil needles, and the yarn is All About Yarn Sparkle Owl in the cranberry sauce colorway, and the Uncommon Thread Tough Sock in the Nutcracker colorway. So I finished sock number 1 on the train. I love the pooling. How fun is that? So I finished sock number 1 on the train down. It's got sparkle in the cranberry sauce, but I think it's subtle enough that the hubs will be okay with it. So finished that one on the train down, train home, and I just cast on the toe of the second one last night. So I am working on that, and I think I'll have plenty of time to get those done. And then the other thing, I cast on a new project on Thanksgiving because I wanted to do something fun for me. So, in my adorable Winnie the Pooh bag by All About Yarn, I'm telling you this because it's a whole theme here, okay? I am knitting the 100 Acre Wood Shawl by Helen Stewart. The yarns I am using are, let's see, well, I'm on US 6's 4mm needles, and the yarns I'm using are Ginger's hand-dyed, yes, Swell You sock in the Gourblimy colorway with Knitting in France Superwash BFL High Twist, and this was a sock yarn test colorway that I got. So I'm using those two together, and I'm sitting at about 20% done. So this pattern is really cool because it has her percentage system, so it tells you at what percent of yarn you should be the whole way through the pattern, which is really cool. So here we go. So I am at 20%, so I did the starting stuff, and then I've got some lace right through there. So I'm not going to get super crisp stripes like some people are getting because I'm using the variegated, and because you can probably see that the yellowy green in the variegated is almost identical to the Gourblimy. So, but that's fine. I'm okay with that. I love how it's turning out. I'm a huge Winnie the Pooh fan, as a lot of y'all know. So this was the perfect project to cast on and knit on while we were away. I did not knit on this, however, when we were watching Gilmore Girls, the new ones, because I was like, I need to have, like, focus. So I worked on the hub socks during that, so that is the reason I took that with me as well. So those 3 things are the only things I have on the needles right now. All right, let's move on to the next segment.
And now we're going to talk about her finished projects.
Yes, I have 2, but I can only show you one of them. So first up is this week's preemie hat. This is number 48 for the year. That means I have 4 to go. 4 to go. This is from my free top-down preemie hat pattern that you can get on Ravelry. I did this on US 6's 4mm needles, and I used James C. Brett Marble Chunky in the ever descriptive 32MC colorway. And I used a little bit of my first spinning project to finish it off and to do the pom-pom. I think it turned out really cute. So, so number 48 for the year. And the other thing I finished is my There Were Never Such Devoted Sister shawl, which is part of our White Christmas inspired collection, which we are going to talk about in more details in Yummies, because the first pattern, when you're watching this, the first pattern has been released. You can maybe see it behind us if you're being eagle-eyed back there, but we'll show you that in Yummies. So anyway, There Were Never Such Devoted Sister shawl. I knit this on US 4's 3.5mm needles, and the yarn was Ginger's hand-dyed Luscious 4-ply in the She Wore the Dress colorway. And I love how it turned out. It is currently blocking, and it is an epically big shawl because it took 200-gram skeins, and it took close to 700 beads. And it's amazing. So I'm so excited for it to dry, and we're planning to go do a photo shoot this weekend for the other 3 patterns in the collection. And I'm excited. So now that that's done, I will now be jumping in on book projects. So, that's everything. I feel like I've been talking a lot, but you're going to talk a lot in the next segment.
Sure.
Yes. All right, well, let's move on to it. And now it's time for our favorite part of the show, Yummies. What are Yummies, Dammy?
Yummies are our current favorite things you like, things we want to talk to you about.
Yummies. So why don't we start with Thanksgiving?
Okay.
So we had a delayed Thanksgiving this year. We celebrated on Saturday instead of Thursday because we were going down to my bestie Katie and her family's house in Birmingham, and Jeremy had to teach. So we arrived late Thursday night, and then Friday we did some Gilmore Girls and yummy food, and then Saturday we did Thanksgiving. Sunday we decorated for Christmas and did the first Sunday of Advent, and then Monday we came home on the train. And honestly, the entire time was almost all, it was Gilmore Girls, food, and knitting. That was like the entire Thanksgiving. Am I correct in that assertion?
Sure.
Did you have anything you wanted to say about Thanksgiving?
No.
It was yummy food.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we did go to that Christmas fair. You got some books.
Yeah.
The church in their neighborhood was having a little Christmas fair, and they had some books for very inexpensive, and so Dammy picked up, I think, 3.
Mm.
So that's fun. Okay, so Thanksgiving, yay, it was yummy, both figuratively and literally, because yummy food. All right, Dammy, we have been working for quite some time now on a White Christmas collection.
Mm-hmm.
4 patterns released starting tomorrow, today, if you're watching this on the day it releases, and running through Christmas. I think the last one releases on the 22nd. So 1 a week for 4 weeks. Why don't you tell them why we love White Christmas? You wrote about it in the pattern.
I don't remember what I said. I wrote that like a month ago.
What do we love about White Christmas?
It's a musical.
Yeah, and what else?
It's really good.
It's about Christmas. It's about snow.
Yeah. You can gather that from the title.
It's about singing and dancing.
I said that it's a musical.
And you and I really have like the entire thing memorized and can pretty much quote it right along with it when we watch it. So you have created the first pattern of the collection.
Yes.
What was it inspired by?
So all of the patterns are inspired by musical numbers in the movie. And mine was inspired by the Abraham number.
So if somebody has not seen White Christmas, how have you not seen White Christmas? You should go watch it. You should pause this and go watch it right now and then come back. But if somebody does not know what the Abraham number is, why don't you tell them what it is?
It's a fast-paced tap number. Jazzy. Really jazzy.
If somebody has seen Holiday Inn, they might recognize that it is a speeded up version of the Abraham Lincoln number.
I don't like that one.
Yeah, it's in poor taste now, but the music is lovely. So, okay, so what from the Abraham number inspired you when you were creating these socks?
Vera Ellen's bright yellow dress, which has bands around the waist and a rolled neck, and she also has a bow in her hair.
Okay.
And so, very bright.
So what is the yarn?
So the yarn is Ginger Twist Studio Swell U Sock in the Liquid Sunshine colorway.
And it is Liquid Sunshiny.
And so the pattern is just a simple textured pattern. The foot is the name of the stitch is called a bow knot, and it involves purling and knitting into the row below, which is a lot easier than it sounds.
Mm-hmm.
And then up here on the leg, there's a textured pattern that's like the bands around the waist to the dress. And then these are anklets, and so I made them have a rolled cuff, like the rolled neck of her dress.
They're so pretty.
You can, but you could like make them longer if you want to,
Yeah.
or make them longer and have a regular cuff, or
Yeah. They could just they could do the bands and then they could repeat the bow stitch up the rest of the leg if they wanted to. If you wanted to make, if anklet socks aren't for you. Or I guess they could continue the ridges from the dress, do stacks of them or something. I don't know. There's some possibilities there. So, okay. So is there anything else? They're toe up. Did you say that? On US 1.5, 2.5 mil needles.
Yes, you can look at the pattern page to find all this out.
Yeah. So what we're going to do, instead of doing a coupon code for every pattern that comes out. Okay. Well, first, each of the 4 patterns is going to be available individually. It'll be $5.50 per pattern. However, if you want to take a chance with us, right now, until next Wednesday, the 7th of December, you can buy the entire collection, all 4 patterns, for $9. You don't need a coupon code. Just go to either the show notes, geekygirlsinit.com, or our website, javapearldesigns.com, and there will be a link there to take you to buying it on Ravelry. So you'll immediately get Dammy's The Abraham number socks. Next week, you will get Dammy's The Best Things shawlette.
That was yours.
No, we had the dates written down wrong. The 15th, you will get my There Were Never Such Devoted Sisters shawl. And the 22nd, you will get my May All Your Christmases Be White socks pattern. So if you want to take a chance with us, $9 right now for the first, for all 4 patterns. You get this one immediately, and then other 3 will be added as updates. If you wait until the second pattern comes out, the collection is going to go up to $10. If you wait till the 3rd pattern comes out, it'll go up to $11, and if you wait till the 4th pattern comes out, it'll be $12. So right now, you could pay the $9, and that would not even be the cost of it. Would be for 2 individual patterns. So no coupon code necessary. Through next Wednesday the 7th, get all 4 patterns for $9. And you'll get Dammy's The Abraham number socks immediately. I love them. I think they're so fun. So fun. Oh, I was going to say, so randomly, so y'all remember when we went to Cardiff for Dammy and my birthday trip? So that museum we went to, was it the Natural History Museum? National Museum that we went to. We were in the gift shop just like looking around, and randomly they had these Christmas balls. They call them baubles over here, I think. That it's black, and then in white glitter it has snowflakes, and it says White Christmas. And it was on clearance, and I was like, oh, this would be a really cool prop for the collection. So that is why there is a black bauble that says White Christmas on it in the photo shoot. I think they're beautiful. And you probably, if you used, do you remember how much yarn it took you to do?
No.
You might have enough, if you buy a 100-gram skein, you might have enough to do 2 pairs, just depending on what size you're doing. You could do contrasting toes and heels, and you would definitely have enough. So, maybe like the brown of the guy she's dancing with, his shirt. That would look cool. So, okay. Anything else you want to say about the Abraham number socks?
No.
Isn't she amazing? This is her 2nd pattern to release. Okay. Do we have anything else other than normal stuff?
No.
I didn't think so either. Okay. So let's talk about hashtag GGK Crafty Pad. What is it, Dammy?
It stands for Geeky Girls Knit Crafty Photo a Day Challenge. We have a list of photo prompts for each month, so you take a look at the prompt for that day, take a picture related to it, and post it anywhere you like, but we pick our favorites from Instagram.
That's right. So the December list has gone up. I'm sorry, I'm trying to do an increase on this toe and the yarn keeps splitting. The December list has gone up. It is obviously all Christmassy, wintry, Advent related. Yeah, so you should join us. It's going to be a lot of fun. I think there's a little bit at the end of December, like reflecting before the new year starts too, if I remember right. You guys, my to-do list, you just don't even want to know. So what are we about to show them?
2 photos from us that we liked and 5 photos from other people that we liked.
So here come the photos. So those are our favorite photos. Great job, everybody. So it's never too late to join in. Just take a look at the prompt list. Take a photo related to the prompt. Interpret it however you wish. That's totally fine. Post it on Instagram and make sure you use the hashtag #GGKCraftyPad in your caption, because that's how we find your photo. And one of your photos might be chosen for next week's favorites. All right, Dammy, we have one event currently on our list that we will be attending in the near future, because March is going to be here before we know it. So why don't you tell them what we'll be attending?
We are going to be vending at Edinburgh Yarn Festival on Friday the 10th and Saturday the 11th of March 2017.
And that's where we will be releasing our brand new book. And we're very excited. If you want more info about Edinburgh Yarn Festival, you can go to edinyarnfest.com. And that's everything that we know about that we'll be attending right now. All right, let's move on to the next segment.
And now we're going to talk about what books we're reading and what TV we're watching.
So what are you reading?
I am reading War and Peace by Leo Tolstoy, and in the past week I have cried so much over this dang book.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, so like when we were going down on the train to Birmingham, I read the entirety of book 8, I think it was. Like, I read the entirety of book 8 on the train. And that's the book where all the stuff that happens in the musical, The Great Comet, happens. And so I'm just like reading this and going like, oh yeah, those are verbatim lyrics from this song. And then crying a lot because of the sad parts.
Yeah. So where are you now in the book?
I think I'm in book 10
Of
15 and 2 epilogues.
Okay.
After we rewatch Gilmore Girls, we gotta watch War and Peace.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, we will. We will. Is there anything else you want to say about War and Peace?
I really love it. Okay.
Are there any other musicals inspired by War and Peace?
I don't think so.
Are there? Surely there's other movies and shows.
Yeah. There was a movie in the 50s. I think it was the 50s. That had Audrey Hepburn as Natasha. I feel like we've had this conversation before. There's a whole series of Soviet films. There's a 2016 miniseries.
That's the one you want to watch.
Yeah, I think there was another miniseries earlier. I don't remember when.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Anything else that you are reading?
No. So what are
Okay.
you reading?
All right. Well, I have started reading.
Reading.
I've started reading The Broken Way, A Daring Path into the Abundant Life by Anne Voskamp. And Anne is one of my favorite authors. My needle got stuck. Oops. I have previously read her 1000 Gifts, which is a book I recommend to a lot of people because it is so good. So I have just read the first chapter, so I've just started reading this, and I'm very excited to be reading it. Fiction-wise, I'm continuing to reread in real time, Shadow of Night by Deborah Harkness, using the All Souls real-time reading companion. So I'm enjoying that. And then I'm also continuing to read the War Eternal series by M.R. Forbes. I finished reading books 3 and 4, and I'm reading book 5 right now. So I'm enjoying that. Now, we watched a movie this week.
Mm-hmm.
What was it?
White Christmas.
So we have this tradition. You want to tell them our tradition?
Tradition! On Thanksgiving, we decorate for Christmas while watching White Christmas.
Yes. And really, it's more like a karaoke event, as Dammy and I sing all the songs. So, okay. We're going to talk about TV now. Why don't we talk about everything else and then come back to Gilmore Girls and make it be the last? You think that's okay? Okay. So, the Hubs and I are rewatching Lost. So we're still in season 1. I think we watched episode 6 last night. So, it's really interesting to be watching it now from the perspective of having seen it all, and, you know, some years have passed and things that they say, and I'm like, oh. Like, do you know how often that is said either by Jack or to Jack, we have to go back? I mean, because then that's a big deal later of Jack, we have to go back to the island. But, like, there's other ways that that's used. And so, I don't know. So it's just really interesting to be watching it again from the other side of the show.
Okay.
Yes. Why don't you talk about the next thing?
We are watching season 2 of Supergirl.
We watched 2 episodes.
Yes. And so we saw Jeremiah.
Dean Cain.
Yeah, he's still alive.
Yes, of course Dean Cain's still alive.
No, Jeremiah.
Yes, Jeremiah's still alive. He's what's it called? Has him? Cadmus has him.
Cadmus.
Okay, and then what was the other episode?
The other episode had Thanksgiving. And Cyborg Superman. That's a mouthful of a name.
Yeah, and
Cyborg Superman.
And what's her name from Merlin tricked her mom?
Lena
Luthor.
Mm-hmm.
Tricked her mom into thinking
Lillian.
she was
on her side,
but she really wasn't.
All of their names begin with L's.
Yes. And they were able to use the virus, is that what you would call it?
Sure.
To heal Jean from becoming a white Martian.
Yeah.
And what's his name from the other planet?
Mon-El.
I think he likes Kara.
He likes her.
He likes her. Likes. And what's Kara's sister's name? Alex. She came out to her mom. So that was cool. All right. We are watching season 14 of NCIS.
It will never end.
It will never end.
Ever.
And we met Ellie's brothers, and we found out that Ellie is dating, I can't remember his name.
Oh, now I can't remember his name either. I don't know. Some guy.
I can't remember. What is your name, guy? What is your name? Why cannot we remember you? I can see your face, but I don't know what your name is.
You can see his face.
I can see his face in my mind. Can you see his face? I'm like projecting it to you.
That's weird.
I know. NCIS. Naval Criminal Investigative Services. grief, there's a lot of episodes. Enemy Combatant. That was the episode we were watching. Let's see. Kasim, right?
Yes. Kasim.
Right? That's the right one, right?
Yeah. I think.
No, it's not Amir, is it?
I don't know.
Is it Kasim or Amir?
I don't. Let's just move on to the next show.
I don't know. Cannot remember. I was trying to see. I think it's Kasim. I was trying to see if it said in the one of the reviews. Okay, what else? Hubs and I are watching season 3 of NCIS New Orleans. No clue what it was about. Something in New Orleans. Hubs and I are also watching season 8 of NCIS LA. Hetty driving was hysterical.
Why?
Because she feels the need for speed.
Ah. She's got a lead foot.
I think she has a anvil foot. Just all the time.
Who was in the car with her?
Deeks. And he was like, I need out of this car. Get me out of this car. Because she also had it's an older car, and so it was like very low slung. And so he was just like, and it was a convertible. So, okay. Hetty driving, that's all I wrote. Okay, you talk about the next one.
Elementary. Season 5.
Yes.
Of Elementary. And so Sherlock stopped going to meetings and was like hanging out at the park playing violin.
As one does.
Yeah. Thought he didn't like his violin.
He's had a change of heart.
But now he's going back to meetings. Because Joan told him he should.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
She laid down the law.
Yep. He got a crown.
Coronet.
A coronet.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it was the one about the casing.
Oh, no,
let's not talk about
it.
that. Ugh. Okay, you want to talk about the next one too?
What is the next one? Oh, we're watching season 3 of The Librarians. So there was Anubis. He's bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
This show has gotten progressively more cheesy.
It is
as it's gotten
so
on.
cheesy. It is so cheesy, but I think that's why I love it, because it is so cheesy. Yeah. And then the Hubs and I are watching season 10 of Murdoch Mysteries, and the episode that we watched last night was like, do you guys remember that old movie, Weekend at Bernie's?
How old is this old movie?
Oh, I don't know, when I was a kid.
Okay, so from the 70s?
No,
80s?
like probably from the 80s or early 90s.
Okay, well that's not that old.
It feels old. Anyway.
You calling me old?
No, I'm calling myself old. So yeah, so they had to pretend that a witness was still alive in order to catch the killer. And it was so cheesy. So cheesy. Yeah, it was just, yeah. Okay. Are you guys ready? At this point in time, we are about to discuss Gilmore Girls, including the new episodes. I hope by now that everyone that wants to see them has gotten a chance to see them. But if you have not gotten a chance to see them and you do not want to be spoiled, because we are about to spoil you big time, you need to fast forward
to the next
segment. And I'm going to put up on the screen right now, right here, you see where I'm waving my hand, the timestamp for where you need to fast forward to. Because we're going to the only thing left in this segment is going to be Gilmore Girls, and then we're moving on to the next segment. So, if you do not want to be spoiled, see, I don't want any, my phone buzzed, but I was expecting something from the Hubs, but it wasn't from him. If you do not want to be spoiled, see, I don't want to get messages, I don't want to get Ravelry messages or emails or posts in the episode thread saying, you spoiled me. Because we're telling you right now that we are about to spoil you. And if you do not want to be spoiled, You need to move on to the next segment.
I think they get it by now.
But no, but I'm just triple warning, quadruple, gazillion warning
Let's
them.
just talk about Gilmore Girls.
Okay. Are you gone? I hope so. So we finished rewatching. No, I mean, I hope so because I don't want you to be spoiled if you don't want to be spoiled. Or, if, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, talk.
So we rewatched a few of the key episodes in season 7 before we left to go to Birmingham. And then we watched the 4 A Year in the Life episodes. Overall, I am happy with how the episodes were done, with things that I wanted to happen. There are some things that I'm not thrilled about. We'll get to that in a few minutes. So, what was your favorite of the 4 episodes?
I liked fall.
Me too. Me too. Why? My primary reason? Luke and Lorelai finally got married. Winter, the first episode, so fall was the 4th episode. Winter was the first one, and it was really pretty good at getting us back in. So it was probably my second favorite. It kind of got us back in, got us seeing where the characters are now, 9 years later, and there were some really funny moments. There was, yeah. So I feel like Winter was like the secondary. What was your least favorite?
I don't know. I can't pick a least favorite.
Okay, my least favorite was Spring. Primarily, I think, because that was the one where they were, like, causing all the issues. Like, they had to, like, bring up these issues that the characters needed to deal with. So it was very, I don't know. I didn't hate the episode. It was just, it's my least favorite of the 4. I've seen a lot of people online say Summer was their least favorite. They thought the musical was a complete waste of time. I thought the musical was hysterical and totally in line with the Gilmore Girls we know and love. It was humorous. It brought in a lot of our town characters. It brought in the town as a character. Sutton Foster was amazing. Amazing. Yeah. So I thought the musical was really well done. Of course it was cheesy. That's what it was supposed to be. What would you expect from Stars Hollow? So, yeah, so the 2 things I've seen the most dissenting opinions on are the musical and Rory, and how her character was, how her character was written for this revival. Because a lot of people feel like, and to some degree I feel this as well, they feel like, okay, when we left her, she had graduated from Yale, she had a job as a journalist, she was going on the road with Obama's campaign, she had decided that she and Logan Logan had said if she wouldn't marry him, they were done. Rory kind of wanted to still be in a relationship with him, but just wanted to do it long distance. He refused. So the town came together, they did the party, she went off the trail. Okay. And then we get these new episodes. She's back in this, not even a relationship with Logan, more of because he's engaged to another woman. So it's just kind of this thing we don't talk about, that Rory shows up every once in a while. Which I thought we had already been through all that with Dean and her being with him when he was married. So there was that, and then I really felt like she was having almost like a midlife crisis, but in her early 30s. I mean, we knew, they had said prior to the episode's airing that there was going to be the issue of journalism has changed, print newspapers, while they're still around, are not as big a thing because of the internet and television. So we knew that she was going to have this this thing of trying to figure out what her career was going to be in line with all these changes. But it felt like to me that she was just like waiting for somebody to hand her the next job. That she wasn't actively pursuing things. Like, she had that interview that was supposed to happen, and it just kept getting postponed and postponed until Logan's father stepped in and made this interview happen. But then that didn't work out. Oops, the show notes went away. So I really struggled with, I mean, Lorelai, obviously, you guys know she's my favorite character. And she's had her share of mistakes and bad decisions and all this. But I almost feel like they did not stay true to who we knew Rory's character to be. Does that make sense at all?
Sure.
What do you think?
I don't know. I haven't thought about this in depth as you have.
Okay, so that was my main issue with the thing. And then obviously you and I had talked about what we thought the last 4 words might be. And we had
Well, you told me what you thought the last 4 words might be.
Well, I mean, like, over the years we've talked about what we thought the last 4 words could be. And, you know, there was all this humorous stuff and all this, but we had both talked about one of them being pregnant. And that's what it ended up being, with Rory being pregnant. And for just a moment when she said it, I turned to Katie and Dammy and was like, please, can it be Jess's? And Katie was like, no, it's going to be Logan's, because this is a full circle thing. Logan is going to be Rory's Christopher. And Jess is still in love with her. And Jess is going to be Rory's Luke. Which totally makes sense to me. So, okay. There's something else I want to talk about. But first, I want to talk about just things that we loved that happened. Mm-hmm. What did you love?
I like Kirk's pig.
Oh, that was so cute. So cute. I love that Kirk, and I think probably the entire town, helped turning the town square into the magical place for the wedding. Mm-hmm. Loved it. It was so beautiful. It was so true to Luke and Lorelai. It was so beautiful. I loved that they got married early, and then we're still going to have the party. Mm-hmm. Obviously, there was the whole issue with Suki, with Melissa not being able to film anything except for the one segment, which I cheered. We all were like, yes, Suki. As soon as they panned into the kitchen and there was all those cakes, I was like, Suki's here. But it was really disappointing to see the wedding happening, and Suki wasn't there. Suki's Lorelai's best friend, and she was not there. And I understand logistically why, but that was disappointing. What else? Luke's, what I'm calling all-in speech. When Lorelai goes in the fall episode, she goes to try to find herself and comes back, and he thinks that she's breaking up with him, and she's really saying, we're getting married. We've worked all this out, and it's happening. Paris Geller. Oh my freaking gosh. She was hysterical. I think my very favorite moment with Paris was when they were at Chilton, mm-hmm. in the restroom, and she does that, like those girls were trying to come in, and she does that manic high kick, like slamming the door shut with her high heels. Oh my gosh, it was so funny. And the whole thing about the 5-story house and them losing a nanny because she won't go up and down the stairs. Oh my gosh, there's so much. We've only watched it once. So I think the plan is for this weekend is to rewatch all 6 hours of it. And so we may have more commentary in later episodes. What else?
The Life and Death Brigade.
Oh, as much as I detest Logan, the Life and Death Brigade segment was hysterical. Oh my gosh. And I loved the steampunk costumes. Oh, the whole bit about the Wi-Fi password at Luke's. That was so funny. I've already said the musical. What else? It's just like all uber. That was so funny. Lane and Zach. That was really sweet. The band back together. I know there's so much more that I wanted to talk about that is just like gone from my brain right now. So the other thing that I wanted us to talk about was, so we know that Amy Sherman Palladino had the last 4 words from very early on, if not the beginning. And then she was not given the option to end season 7 as she wanted. However, if she had been able to end the show at the end of season 7 like she wanted, that would have made Rory pregnant at 22 instead of 32, where she is now. And you and Katie and I talked about this, and we also talked with Jilly from the Knitting Broomstick podcast about this, about how different things would have been if it had been Rory pregnant at 22. I almost wonder if it had happened at 22, if she would have, because she had the longing for a different way of doing things, because Christopher wasn't around. He didn't really play the dad role. They didn't have what we would call a normal home life. If she would have married Logan and moved across the country and had the house and the avocado tree and the new baby and at least given it a shot. Whereas from where we're seeing her now at 32 and the conversation she had with Christopher and the conversations that she's had with Logan, because apparently she has not told him yet, if she will try to do it the way her mom did it. Albeit it'll be differently because Lorelai was 16 and Rory's 32. So things are going to be different. Thoughts?
I don't know.
You guys, she is not fulfilling her end of the conversation here.
I have not thought about this as in depth as you have, apparently.
I have thought about it very in depth because it's very important to me.
I know you have.
It's very important to me. So I think she might have tried to have the normal life. I don't think it would have worked. I think Logan is too much of a party boy. I don't think it would have lasted. Oh, Dean, we didn't talk about. And Jess. See, I told you there was more things I wanted to talk about. Let's jump and talk about Dean. I thought the segment with him was very sweet and very true to his character. I'm glad he did not end up back with Lindsay, but he always had that longing for that kind of life with the wife and the big family, and so he's got that with the 4th baby on the way. We did talk about Jess a little bit, but oh my gosh! Oh, and the book, Gilmore Girls, the book.
Yeah, Rory said she was changing the names of the people, but they're still gonna have the surname Gilmore.
I guess so.
That.
I don't think she'll end up changing the character names. I did enjoy the part where she was talking to Dean about if it was okay for him to be in the book, and her admitting the positive things, which you have tried to get me to do. You're like, there are good things about these,
all of them,
and Rory was admitting that there were good things about her relationship with him. Michelle.
Oh my gosh.
And the
and
Emily.
It's only half an hour long.
Emily Gilmore. See, here's my other thing, my other major thought process thing. Emily, because by the end, she had decided that life that she had lived with Richard was not for her, and she wanted to do things differently, and she kind of found who she was. And I wonder if that's how she was before she met and married Richard. We know nothing about her family. We have never met any of her family. We've met Richard's family, but never met her family. And I wonder if she felt like she had to become who Richard wanted and needed her to be. And that's just what she did because of the time when they married and things, and how different the world was 50 years ago. So I think, obviously it would be a totally different thing if she had never met and married Richard. But I think that the Emily we see now is who she was meant to be. And these difficult 50 years, that DAR scene in the episode where she just kind of lost it on him, I was like, okay, we're really seeing who Emily is. And that Emily that she has now figured herself out to be is so much like Lorelai. So much like Lorelai. The funeral, the flashback to the funeral. Oh my gosh. So winter and fall, I cried through both of them. Cried hysterically. The funeral especially, cried my eyes out. You guys, I don't know. So all in all, unless I think of something else I want to say, I was overall pleased with what we got. Of course, there's the talk of, okay, they've left us at a cliffhanger. Are they going to do more? In some ways, I would love them to do more because I adore the characters. April was hysterical. Oh my gosh. April was so funny. The whole Liz and TJ bit, but we never got to see them. That was kind of disappointing because I like Liz. They could do more, and I would love to see more because I adore the characters, and I would love to see what they do with them next. But it's been ended the way that the Palladinos wanted it to be ended. I have my happy ending because Luke and Lorelai are together like I always wanted them to be. I'm gonna cry. I love Lorelai. Dammy's like, Mama, would you please just be done so that we can move on to the next segment?
Yeah, this whole segment is half an hour long.
Well, they knew it. They knew it coming in because Gilmore Girls. Yeah, so in some ways I would like it to go on. In some ways I'm like, okay, I got my happy ending. What do you think? Would you like it to go on, or are you pleased with how it ended?
I'm fine with how it ended, but if they did more, I wouldn't say no.
Okay. Would you like more Stars Hollow the musical?
I would like an original cast recording to be released.
That would be fan-freaking-tastic. That would be amazing.
Off Broadway.
Yeah.
You don't get more off Broadway than Stars Hollow.
That's right. Okay. I'm so happy that Luke and Lorelai are together, married. and they're going to be grandparents.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Just be aware that you may get more discussion next week after we rewatch, okay? She's patting my leg. She's like, Mama, shut up. Let's end this segment. She's doing it very kindly. Although her pats on my leg are getting heavier and heavier. Oh, help. Help.
Okay, let's move on. And now we are going to talk about our September, October, November artistic autumnal cow.
Which by the time they're watching this is over.
It's over, but we can't draw prizes yet because there's still more time
Today.
for us to enter prizes.
Yes.
To
accept entries.
Enter entries.
So let's do this. Let's say a thank you to all of our sponsors who have donated these lovely prizes that are on the screen.
Thank you.
We thank you very much. We appreciate you muchly. We will award these prizes next week in episode 220. Okay? If you want to know more about the prizes, go to the show notes. You can see all the details and photos of them. Dammy, why don't you tell us who, and there's a zillion people, finished projects in the last week?
Adventures in Dinner, Allison Roseboom, Artist Maybe, Asteroid, AZ Nitwit, Celeste, Chiefy, Devious Angel, Ditzy Mermaid, Dueling Needles, Eileen D, Ellie 15, Falling Star 12, Philippa MC, Frymeister, Girl in Knots, Gracieless, Gypsy the Dog, Hazy Summers, Hook and Stick, Ingard Stoka, I Knit Socks 2, Jammin' to Knit, Karenina 4777, Karen Louise 59, Katie Did What 1, Knit Central, Knit Crazy Kate, Knit Live Love, Knitter Gatherer, Christine Agnes, Little Angel SG2, Elle McCall, Long Tall Katie, Mary Punk, Mama Mia 64, Maria Wilhelmina, Minerva's Bliss, Miri Yummy, Mookie Moon 1974, MV Knits, Mystery Sewer, Nataloo Kathloon, Night Owl Knitter 15, Knittin' Mama 3, Penny Gale, Phoenix Fire, Piper's Mom, POKDEJ, Rainbow Ange, Ramona Firehorse, Rue CMC, Rose Bob, Scrap Dash, Shirley Merly, Ski Nanigans, Skyly Knits, Sylvia 1002, BVFB, Tiandrina, BT Kimmy Kim, Weeping Wool, and Yarnsmith Dory.
Way to grow, everybody.
Yay.
Okay, so we will announce those prize winners next week. And because November is ending today, we have a new cow to talk to you about.
Mm-hmm. And now we're going to talk about our December, January, February Winter Wonderland cow.
I just dropped a stitch. Oops, sorry. Okay, so this cow starts the 1st of December, which, if you're watching this, it's the 1st of December. Unless you're one of our Patreon people that get early access. Because they do. A few of them get early access. So it starts the 1st of December and it runs through the 28th of February. It's for any project you knit, crochet, weave, or spin that you can convince us is related to winter. Let's not tell them how they can do that this week just because we've got so much to talk about. But any way you can convince us works. Your fallback is you created it in the winter. No whips are allowed. You have to start your project the 1st of December or later and finish it no later than the 28th of February. But feel free to poly dip in other cows, including the cow that we're going to talk about next after we talk about this one. I'm going to come back to prizes. So every project you finish and post in the FO thread counts as one entry into the giveaways. You have to be a member of the Geeky Girls Knit podcast group on Ravelry to participate. You need to post a picture of your finished project in the FO thread in our group. And the hashtag is GGKWW1617 because it goes December 16, January, February 2017. We'll lock the FO thread the morning of the 1st of March and draw winners on the following podcast after that. You'll have 30 days to claim your prize or you forfeit it. There's a chatter thread in our Ravelry group, and we have some prizes. We don't have photos for all of them yet, but the ones we do have photos for, we'll put on the screen, and you can also see them in the show notes. Do you want to start and we'll go back and forth?
Sure. So our first prize is a set of 6 sheep stitch markers from Ann Tudor.
Yes. Next up, we have a sock-themed project bag by Knit Run Dig that was donated by Jill, who is Vegan Jilly on Ravelry.
And a skein of yarn of the winner's choice from Napier's Knits on Etsy.
We're putting a skein up on the screen, but they don't have to pick that one. We're just using it as an example. We don't have a picture yet, but we will have a project bag from Stitching Plaza on Etsy from Georgianne.
A 4-piece poke-me-not set from Jan B. Smiley.
Yes, that was left over from the retreat. 2 skeins of the Fire Company Acadia yarn in the Driftwood colorway. One person will win both skeins.
A skein of Zwergergarn Opal Smile yarn in the Frulicate colorway, which is happiness. I hope I said that right.
I hope so too. If you didn't, it's okay. 2 skeins of Gothica Yarns 100% British wool 4-ply yarn in the Berry Crime Scene colorway and a set of 5 stitch markers. This is from Gothica Yarns on Etsy. It was donated by the dyer Danielle.
And then the epic prize, a grab bag of 24 sets of fixed circular knitting needles. Various makes, sizes, cable lengths. Perfect.
Needle types. Some are wood, some are metal.
That's what I meant by makes.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought you were talking about brands.
That too.
That too. So what has happened with this bag is I went through my needle sets and got rid of the needles that I'm not using. You also had some that you weren't using. So these are gently used, but still in good condition. So instead of like just doing, oh, let's just randomly give away a set of needles, we were like, let's just put them all in a bag and one person can win them. You can choose what you want out of them and then you can like share them with your knitting group or send them to a friend or whatever. Okay? I hope that's okay because, yeah, because we would like someone to love these needles and put projects onto them. So that is our Winter Wonderland cowl.
Yep.
But that's not all. We have another new cowl. Ooh.
And now we are going to talk about our white Christmas cowl.
I'm dreaming of a white Christmas. This is a joint cowl between us and Jill, who is vegan Jilly on Ravelry, of the Knitting Broomstick podcast. This starts the 1st of December and runs through the 31st of January. It's for any project you knit, crochet, weave, or spin that you can convince us is related to White Christmas. Be creative. I don't know that we've ever said no. So no whips are allowed in this one. You have to start your project the 1st of December or after and finish it by the 31st of January. Feel free to poly dip in other cowls as long as it fits in with the rules. We'll come back to prizes in a minute. So, every project you finish and post is one entry into the giveaway. Except.
Ooh, this is important. Listen
this
closely.
Is very, very important. Okay, if you knit one of our 4 White Christmas patterns, you get to post your finished project twice. So you get 2 entries per patterns. So if you do more than one, you get to post the next one twice. If you do all 4 patterns, so you'll have gotten your 4 regular entries. You'll get a bonus entry on each of them, so that's another 4.
So you post each of them twice.
Right, so that's 8 entries. And then you post 2 more times with a picture of all 4 projects together for a total of 10 entries for those 4 projects.
That's very exciting.
It is very exciting. And I really hope a lot of people do it because it would be epically awesome if you knit all 4 projects. Totally doable. Totally doable. You have to be a member of the Geeky Girls Knit group and the Knitting Broomstick group on Ravelry to participate. The FO thread is in our group, and I just created that this morning, and it'll be unlocked tomorrow when the episode goes live. The chatter thread is in Jilly's group, in the Knitting Broomstick group, and that one I think is already up. It'll be up by the time this goes live.
Did you say they have to be a member of both groups?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Okay. So you have to post your finished project in the FO thread in our group. The hashtag for this is WCGGKTKB. That is White Christmas Geeky Girls Knit the Knitting Broomstick. How creative are we? We'll lock the FO thread the morning of the 1st of February and draw winners on our next podcast. Winners will be announced on both our podcast and Jilly's podcast. You'll have 30 days from the date we announce the winners to claim your prize or you forfeit it. Does that make sense? Okay. All right. Well, we have some prizes. We don't have photos of all of them yet, but we'll put photos for the ones we do. Why don't you start?
Okay. A set of 6 rainbow heart stitch markers from Ann Tudor.
Yes, she donated those to this. We don't have a picture of this yet, but there will be a project bag from the Stitching Plaza on Etsy. That is from Georgianne, who is the owner.
2 skeins.
Nope, you skipped one.
I did. Oh. A skein of Ginger Twist Studio Ginger's hand-dyed luscious 4-ply in the I'm a Barbie Girl colorway.
Yes, so this is the one full skein that was left over from my Nanny Swimmo sweater. 2 skeins. Okay, well we have 2 prizes that are the same yarn but different colorways. So one person is going to win 2 skeins of Rennie Hand Knits Super Soft Cashmere 4-ply in the Pegasus colorway, and the other person is going to win 2 skeins in the Clio colorway. Okay? You're next.
This, I'm assuming we don't have a picture for.
Yes.
But it will be a white Christmas-themed project bag from Trish, who is TNT Trouble 32 on Ravelry, of Cabin Creek Creations on Etsy.
Yes.
With a Z.
Yes.
Creations.
I can't, she used to, her thing used to be called something else, and now I can't think of what it was. Yarn something studios. Yeah. This is an existing company that has changed names. Donated by Caitlin from of Mint Rain Yarns, we have a skein of Mrs. Crosby Loves to Play Satchel Fingering, which is 100% superwash merino in the Red King Radish colorway, and also from her.
A skein of Sunrise Fiber Co-Moxie Soft Sock, which is 100% superwash merino in the Prickly Pear colorway.
So there's a red skein and a green skein. How fun is that? And then finally, we have a set of tatted Christmas stitch markers made and donated by Corey of CBC Products on Etsy. And they're so adorable. So, thank you to all of our sponsors. We didn't say this in the last cowl, but if you would like to donate a prize to either the Winter Wonderland or the White Christmas cowl, PM me, Java Pearl on Ravelry, or email us at
geekygirlsknit@gmail.com.
and we will get that all worked out. Okay, we're really excited about this cowl, and I can't wait to see everybody's White Christmas projects. All right, let's move on to the next segment.
And now it's time for Ask the Geeky Girls, the part of our show where you ask us things and we answer them.
That's right.
Or try to.
Yes, we do our best. So we have a 2-part question this week. Part for me, part for you. Okay, why don't you get us started?
This question is from Georgianne, who is Stitching Plaza from California. Hi.
Hi.
This is a 2-parter.
Yes.
I've homeschooled both my kids. Why?
You said, I have homeschooled.
Stop it. I have homeschooled both my kids after being in mainstream and would love to hear your opinions. Cece.
Okay, wait, let me say, mainstreamed is like traditional type schooling, like a public school, private school. That's what she's referencing by mainstream, just in case somebody didn't know what that meant.
Cece.
Yes.
What was the deciding factor to homeschool me? Did you ever mainstream?
The deciding factor to homeschooling Dammy was when she was 3 years old and brought me a book and said, Mama, tell me how to read this. And I could not say, sorry, honey, you're not old enough for school yet. You will have to wait to learn to read. She wanted to read, and so we taught her to read, and we just kept going from there. You have been to like 2.5 years of mainstream school. The last semester, when I was finishing my Master of Divinity degree and was about to go into working as a hospital chaplain, we put you in a regular school and you really thrived and it was really great. And then we moved for my job and you ended up going to 2 different mainstream schools. The first one was really bad. We did not like it at all. But then we got you into a magnet school that was better. However, when I became ill enough that I couldn't work anymore and I was back at home, you asked me if you could go back to homeschooling because you loved it and preferred it. And so we did. And that was, what grade would you have been in?
Seventh.
Seventh? Seventh, eighth, ninth. Yeah.
Yeah, seventh. I went back to homeschooling in seventh.
Okay, seventh. And she's finishing out her 12th grade year, her senior year of homeschooling and high school in this spring. Can you homeschool for college?
I don't know.
I was kind of being like, oh, that's what I said. So, did I answer my questions?
Yes.
Okay. So
you get the easy questions.
Well, I had to make the difficult decision whether to homeschool you or not and teach you how to read. Okay, Dammy. What do you think of the curriculum of a homeschool program? Let's start with that one. What do you think of the curriculum of a homeschool program?
What does that mean, like the curriculum? Like the subjects I study?
Well, like the programs we use to homeschool you. So you've had several different ones over the years.
Yes, I don't really remember the early ones.
So we did a workbook-based system for several years. And then in third grade, we moved you to a computer-based, but it was all through one company. Mm-hmm. And then since seventh grade, we've been using a website, all-in-one homeschooling, that pulls together curriculums from places on the web, and most of them, if not all, are free or very, very low cost, mm-hmm. or like donation based or whatever. So what do you think of the curriculum that you're using now?
I think it's good in some of the places it's gathered stuff from. It tells you to like present your stuff to your classmates, but I don't really have classmates. I don't have classmates, period, so I can't really do that, but it's still good.
So the stuff you use is all online. A lot of it has videos, mm-hmm. or I mean, obviously, like for literature and stuff, that you're going to have stuff you have to read and write and mm-hmm. such. But we made the decision, I guess when you started high school, your freshman year, we sat down and looked at all the credits that you needed to obtain for your high school years. And, you know, you got to pick electives and such like that. And we figured out the curriculum. And then what we did was, okay, Dammy, here are the 7 or how many ever it was classes that you need to do this year. This is the amount that you need to be done with at the end of the first term. So 90 days. Each term is around 90 days. Here you go. You need to have this done at the end of 90 days. We're here if you need help. Go. And I think that has been a really positive thing. I know it was really hard for you starting out because you were like, I don't know how much to do or whatever. But you were able to like figure it out. And I think as you are finishing high school and going into being ready for college, that is going to be a huge asset for you, because you're going into these classes going, okay, this is what I have to finish. This is the syllabus for this semester, for this class. This is what I have to accomplish. Well, I've had to do this before where I had to figure out, okay, I needed to do this then, this then, this then. And I think that gives you a heads up over students who have not had that much responsibility in figuring out what they have to do with. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I mean, it's something, I didn't have that going into college, and I figured it out. But I think it might give you a little heads up because you already have that, because you're already going to be transitioning to, you know, university in a different way of, you know, you're going to be in a classroom which you haven't been in for 6 years, and you're going to have different teachers for different subjects and all that, and then just the new life of being at university or whatever. So I think having a heads up in that arena is going to be a bonus for you when so much is changing.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense at all?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me ask you your other question. Sorry. I just get going and I can't stop. If there was one thing you could say to promote homeschooling, what would it be? Thanks, guys. Love you both.
I don't know. It's maybe like it's good for people who like need to work at their own pace and like and work alone, I guess. Like, I don't know.
Well, I remember when you were in a traditional school that you would come home a lot of days really frustrated because you had finished your work early in the day and kind of just had to sit there while everybody else finished.
I don't ever remember doing that.
Yes, you did. I know it's been a long time ago. And so, and that's, I mean, that's just how it is sometimes, but you much preferred to work at your own pace and get stuff done in your own time and then have the rest of the day to do what you want. So I agree that homeschooling is especially good for people that need to work at their own pace or want to work at their own pace. I mean, and it could be the opposite end of the spectrum. It may be that somebody needs more time to work on stuff than they're getting in a traditional classroom. So it could be either side of the coin. I mean, I know homeschooling is not for everyone.
Yeah.
But it has worked for us. So, yeah. Anything else you want to say about homeschooling?
No.
Who's your favorite teacher?
Tolstoy.
I thought you were going to say me.
You're my only teacher. You're not even really technically my teacher.
Anymore. Because you're doing all online based. I am here, though, if you need me.
You don't know calculus.
I did calculus 20 years
you don't,
ago.
20 years ago.
20 years ago, I did calculus. It was with an abacus. Not really. Okay. We've been talking a while on this. So, Georgianne, I hope we answered your questions. They were good ones. May just have to think about stuff. So, and I hope it was interesting to others of you. Yeah, like I said, homeschooling was a good decision for us, but we know it's not for everyone, and we support and affirm whatever is best for you and your child and your family. If somebody has a question for us, what should they do?
You should go to our Ask the Geeky Girls thread in our Ravelry group and post it.
All right, let's move on to the next segment. We made it, and I know this was a long one, you guys. Gilmore Girls. I mean, you had to see it coming, right? You knew that when the new Gilmore episodes aired, that I was going to have a lot to say. When do I not have a lot to say? We're glad you made it to the end, though. I don't think we have any announcements other than our normal ones. No. So just a reminder that the 52 Weeks of Charity Cal is ongoing. The details are in the Ravelry group, and we talk about it the second podcast of every month. So we'll talk about it in 2 weeks, and then the next time we do it will be when we draw prizes in the new year. So if you're working on those 52 items, keep going. I just finished number 48, so I have 4 to go. But I know we have several people who have finished recently, so I'm really excited. I need to go through and do the maths because I think we may need another skein of Worcestershire spinners as a prize. So, okay. And how can you support the podcast? There are 3 main ways. First is Patreon, which is a site where you can pledge money to your favorite creatives, podcasters, artists, musicians, etc. And there are rewards levels, and you get rewards based on how much you donate. If you would like to know more about this, you can go to
patreon.com/geekygirlsnet.
and that's where you can sign up for it as well. If you have any questions, just let us know. What else?
There is a PayPal button in the sidebar of our website if you would like to make a one-time donation.
Yes. And the third way you can support us is if you are shopping on Amazon.com or .co.uk. If you click through our website and then buy stuff, Amazon gives us money based on what you purchased. It doesn't cost you anything extra. We don't know who is buying what. we just get like a list of what's sold and how much we've earned per item. And that money is used almost exclusively to ship out prizes. Like we will have an epic amount of prizes to ship out after next week and in the new year. So if you'd like to know more about those things, you can go to
no, you can't go to Patreon. Go to geekygirlsnet.com.
yes. All right, Dammy, why don't you tell them where they can find us online?
geekygirlsnet.com. There are the links to everywhere else we are online: YouTube, iTunes, Ravelry, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, etc.
That's right. With that, we're going to tell you goodbye. We hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. We hope you had a wonderful Gilmore Girls Apalooza. Gilmore Girls a-thon. Gilmore Girls.
They get it.
Gilmore Girls. And that Advent is starting good for you and your family, and that you are excited for the holidays that are coming up. And we hope that you don't stress yourself too much on Christmas knitting deadlines, because that can be overwhelming. Says me, who's still knitting a Christmas gift right now. Yeah, so join in on the cows. We're super excited about them. And yeah, we hope you have a great rest of your week. Don't forget to get the White Christmas collection on sale now, $9 for the full collection. And we will talk to you next week. Happy knitting. Bye.
Bye.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas everywhere you go. Take a look at the 5 and 10. It's glistening once again with candy canes and silver lanes that glow. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Toys in every store. But the prettiest sight to see is the holly that will be on your own front door. Yay! Merry Christmas! Bye!